Um,
All right. Welcome to the NFL's OMFL's NFC Wild Card matchup here. Today, I've got my co-host Maniac here with me, and we are going to bring to you live commentary covering this wild card matchup here inside the NFC. We do have D-Money with the San Francisco 49ers going to Seattle to face the division winner in Big Boy. Welcome in, Maniac. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good. Looking forward to seeing this matchup. These two have played 2 games during the season that basically ended in bloodbaths and both just that down to the end. Both teams just match up really well, so it's going to be exciting to see how this one turns out.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting matchup. The biggest thing for me is, this is the third time that they're going to see each other. And we all know what D Money's capable of, but Meek has proved that he's not going to be a pushover. He's got a really good team, young team in Seattle. So I look forward to kind of like looking at this as like a boxing match. I think there's going to be some haymakers, but I think both teams take care of the ball well and play good defense. And this is going to be one of those games where we just, buckle in and whoever makes the fewer mistakes and gets, maybe bigger plays. Even though, I don't view these teams as more like home run hitting play type of teams. But, if they can get some big plays, just, executing their offense, that'll be the key to this game. So it'll be a fun one.
Yeah, and if you look at their rosters, I mean they're both similar style, built similar, and they both have stud running backs. They don't have like a stud quarterback, but they've got a quarterback that's actually fits their style of offensive play. The running backs again, the 49ers got Pacheco, and he's just like absolutely dominating. And then you got the Seahawks, and they have Walker, the third in the backfield, and both of them are fast running backs, both in the 94, 95 speed range, acceleration range, and got good agility. And that's kind of like their bell cow, their offense, and how their running back goes usually depicts how their offense goes. And then the other thing that they're similarly built at is their defense and more or less in the cornerback defensive backfield have fast, strong, big cornerbacks that are able to withstand a lot of man press and then also play a good zone with good play recognition. So, and they both really are similar on that. With the Seahawks, they have Woolen is their top guy, and then if you look at the 49ers, they have his import, which is Ethan Pouncey, really top guys and scary defensive backfields for anyone to go against.
Yeah, so just to quickly kind of touch base here, we've got the Niners they're coming in as the 6th seed. The Seahawks are the 3 seed. The Seahawks would be the home team. The Niners were 10-7. The Seahawks, I believe, finished 12-5. And offensively ranked, the Niners come in with 8 in points, 11th in yards, 22nd in passing. But here's the kicker: is 6th in the rushing. And mind you, D-Money did miss a handful of games there at the first part of the stretch of the season. Defensively, D-Money is always pretty strong. He is 8th in points allowed at 24 points a game, 7th in yards, 11th in passing, and 11th in defense in rushing yards. So pretty balanced there. Like I said, top half of the league. And yeah, Seattle was 12-5. But D Money's relying on a younger running quarterback to lead his team and Trey Lance. So we'll see what happens in that category. I am trying to pull up Seattle. As I said, was 12-5. They're 7th in points per game offensively at 31 points. 16th in yards, 26th in passing, but 11th in rushing. And then on the defensive side, they're 16th in points allowed at 25 points a game, 30th in yards allowed, 24th in passing yards allowed, and 30th in rushing yards allowed. So a little not as much balanced, but like I said, Meek has found ways to win, and he's got a young team. And I think they are getting ready to go live here momentarily. Those rankings were courtesy of Neon Sports. But let's see here. Yep. So I think they are ready to roll. So we're going to be getting ready here to switch over and kind of tune in. And it's an exciting one. Maniac, as we're getting ready for this game, go ahead and give me your pregame prediction. What do you got for this game?
This one really could go either way, but I'm going to go with my gut here, and I'm going against the money man. So I'm picking the Seahawks to win this game. They are at home. I believe the series that they played in season, each team won their home game. So I could be wrong on that, but that's just from memory. But I'm going to give the edge to the Seahawks. I think this is going to be very close. I don't think it's going to be anything that we see 30 or 40 points scored. I think it's going to be one of those like 28, 26 score. I think that's going to be the score for this game, 28-26 Seahawks. Win it on the leg of their field goal kicker at the end.
Yeah, it's a good prediction. I'm gonna have to stick with D Money. This is playoff time. I think this is where he kind of locks in and gets things going. And I think his defense being a little bit more balanced. I do think it is going to come down to a late game situation. We will see what happens. But I do think it's going to be an interesting one. They are live, so let me flip over here and get this pulled up. And yeah. All right. So there we go. We should be good to go. And I think this is going to be a fun one. Like I said, D Money's rushing attack. He takes his opportunities and chances with the passing game pretty well, and so I'm looking to see, how he uses Trey Lance, out of the gate. But I think the big key is Meek's got to find a way to kind of say punch for punch with him.
Yeah, I think both coaches are looking not to make the big mistake. I think it'll be a lot of, especially this first quarter, we're going to see a lot of filling out, seeing how each other attacks the other, and then we'll start seeing some things probably open up in the second quarter on throughout the game.
Yeah, so Seattle's going to start the ball here. The Niners kick off to start the game here. We get a touchback. And like I said, let's see what Meek does. I think he's going to try and keep the playbook simple and use the ground game with Kenneth Walker. We did do a little pregame interview action. So I'm going to bring up some of those as the broadcast goes along. But we got a first play, a little stretch play off to the right to Kenneth Walker to pick up 6 yards.
Yeah, it was a good safe play there by the Seahawks there to just kind of get started, get things rolling, and we'll see how they if they continue to go on the ground or if they get it in the air here.
Little full house package here, under center, white the import quarterback from Madden 23, is going to run a little counter play. Kenneth Walker does get up inside the blocking and picks up a first down, and he is off to an early start, 2 rushes for 17 yards.
Yeah, definitely trying to get that run established there for the Seahawks and open up, probably trying to get something to open up play action later on.
Yeah, I mean, the Seattle's got playmakers on the outside, DK Metcalf being one of them, Noah Fant, and is an athletic, versatile tight end. Tyler Lockett and the rookie Jackson and Smith and Jigba from Ohio State. He brings in the backup running Zach Charbonnet for this third play of the game. And Charbonnet is going to pick up a first down, big yardage, 14 yards on the power play there.
Yeah, good call there. The 49ers came out in Tampa 2 coverage, and he kind of exposed that right side there of the defense.
If it's anything like Seattle in the past, Seattle's always been a big home field advantage type of situation. So that could play a factor into today's game, but we'll see how that kind of transpires as the game goes along. We got first and 10. He's going to drop back. He's taking that shot and just overthrown DK Metcalf.
Yeah, I knew that he was trying to look like he was trying to set up that play action pass, and when you got the spectacular receivers on the outside like that, you've got to get them incorporated into the game plan.
Yeah, if he can incorporate the pass game and keep the safeties out of the box, I think that'll definitely help his run game as the game goes along as well. As he's had some early success here running the ball. He's going to come out with the pistol ace formation, and he's going to hand it off to Kenneth Walker right off the left side for another first down. He's picking up a good chunk of yards here in the running game early on, which is kind of surprising. D-Money there in a 4-3, but kind of in a wide formation, running another cover 2 Tampa play.
Yeah, we're seeing him using those Tampa 2 coverages. I don't know if he's trying to take away possibly something he's seen in film from a tight end point of view, but that's burned him the last couple times.
Now he goes under center in an ace formation. Let's see what he does here. First and 10 from the 32 is going to drop back. He does have DK Metcalf open, and it is completed down to about the 10-yard line. And another chance there as D-Money was in a cover 3 to changing it up. Still in zone, though.
Yeah, I don't know. D-Money's been playing soft coverage, so I don't know what if he's kind of holding off or something for later on, or this is a pretty spectacular drive to start off the game for the Seahawks.
Yeah, he's definitely setting a tone there. He runs a double outside of I form and completes the pass to Tyler Lockett on the outside down to the 2-yard line, bringing up 2nd and 1 from the 2. He can pick up the first down, but it's like right at the goal line. So, I mean, it's probably going to be points here if he is able to convert. The Niners blow the run play up there as Zach Charbonnet, the backup running back, comes in. It'll be 3rd and 4 from the 4. So it's either a touchdown or taking the field goal more than likely. This is a big play here. As he's had a big drive, he needs to play smart, obviously, try and get the ball into the end zone, but he cannot throw the ball and throw a pick here. So if he does choose to play a pass, he's got to be smart with this pass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Drops back. He's wide open. Noah Fant in the middle of the field. That is going to be a touchdown opening drive for the Seattle Seahawks. White, the import quarterback, leads him right down the field. An impressive drive to start this game and set the tone against the big opponent in D-Money.
Yeah, I mean that's a heck of a way to open up the game there for the Seahawks to solidify their game plan, go down the field. I mean, they took up most of the first quarter, over half the first quarter down to get that touchdown. So what a way to kind of set the tone, set how you want to play the game against D Money, and kind of put D Money back behind a hard spot here starting off.
Yeah, I think with that drive, if he can come out and play defense here, we'll see how this goes. But if he can play defense like he did on that opening drive offensively, this would be important drive for D Money to kind of settle in a little bit, I would say. Look for Pacheco to have kind of a big game, because that is his money man and has been all season.
Pacheco is that guy that just seems like at any moment can just hit the home run play, and you just never know.
That was an interesting move as Shocks fan with the Chiefs trades Pacheco for Christian McCaffrey, and Pacheco comes over and actually, I believe, broke or tied the record in the NFL single season record rushing. I know he hit 28. I don't know if he surpassed. That'll be something I have to look up real quick with Neon Sports. But D Money on a second play here, second handoff to Pacheco, does pick up a first down, and that is the way that D Money is going to probably play most of this game, is, hand the ball off to his money man.
Yeah, it's going to be a nickel and dime situation, I think, for the 49ers here. And I think that also can play to his favor. I mean, you've seen the Seahawks. They like to set up the big play, get that big, game-changing play from their wide receivers. But you see more or less from the 49ers a lot of just nickel and dime, just kind of go down the field and make you suffer long term.
And I did get the stats pulled up. According to Neon Sports, Pacheco finishes the year in the regular season 340 attempts for 1,822 yards, averaging 5.36 yards per carry, with 12 over 20 yards and 31 touchdowns. So that is a NFL single season record, breaking old LaDainian Thompson. What a run, breaking a couple tackles there. I mean, this is a guy that you got to get multiple hats to him and play team defense, just because he can not only is he shifty and fast, but he's showing some power there breaking that tackle, getting an extra 5 yards.
Yeah, this is scary to watch D Money with this type of running back. He's going to be good for several seasons to come here in San Francisco.
Yes, he is. He's definitely going to be a franchise player for him. So we got two receivers to the right in a I-form twins, and he's going to hand the ball off once again to Pacheco. Pacheco picking up 4 yards there on first down as he is driving into the red zone territory at the 26-yard line, and bringing up 2nd and 6 here as we are late into the first quarter. Both teams running the ball, so this clock has gone by a little bit quicker than normal, I would say. D Money's going to line up in a pistol. And he's going to get Pacheco out to the outside there, and it's going to be 3rd and inches, as this is going to be a big play here for D Money. I do anticipate this is 4-down territory, though, if he's able to not get the first down and be within the rules of being able to go for it. I would see D Money going for it with the success that he's had running the ball. So
yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, you're getting pretty much 9 yards a pop right now, and
Seattle's going to stack the boxes. D Money's going to run the ball right up the middle as we anticipated. Pacheco does get this ball down to the 3-yard line, starting out this drive. 7 carries for 75 yards for Pacheco. Both running backs bringing the tone to start this NFC Wild Card game here inside the OMFL. We just want to take a moment. We appreciate everything that the Grown Folks community, led by Nate, who is the commissioner of the OMFL, allowing us to have the community and the place to play, and allowing us to commentate the game. This is what we enjoy. So I appreciate Nate for giving us the opportunity to have something to do here. This is going to be This is going to be a big play here. We got 1st and goal. I'd expect him to keep running the ball. And he hands it off to Mitchell. Mitchell comes in and actually picks up the touchdown. And it's going to be, pending an extra point, we may have a tie ball game here. Both drives right down the field to open up the game.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had to ask, did D-Money even have to make a passing attempt that drive? That was pretty impressive there. With the running.
He's got a pretty good, strong offensive line, especially Trent Williams on the left side being like probably the top lineman in the league. And knowing Pacheco's success with his versatility, the running game is definitely something you're going to have to key in on, and you make yourself vulnerable in the pass game, but you can't let him, just run the ball down your throat like he did there. So we'll see how Meek Boy responds here. As we've approaching the end of the first quarter, we did take a moment here before this game, and we asked each owner a few pregame interview questions. And I just thought it was interesting, as we asked the first question that we asked them was, what was your game plan going into this game? And I thought that it was interesting, as we've seen a drive by both teams here, what their response was. And, this is a big play. And Fant gets hit by Greenlaw underneath for the breakup. That would have been a big completion coming out to start that second drive. But going back to the question, what's your game plan going into this game? And I thought it was interesting that both teams answered the way they did. I'm not really surprised, but Meek Boy comes back and he says that my game plan is going into this matchup is to minimize mistakes and put points on the board. And I think that's obviously a very general response, but the minimizing the mistakes obviously is a big thing when you're playing a guy like D-Money. And so that first drive was definitely all about that. But he's in a big spot here on 3rd and 8.
Yeah, he's got to get a first down here.
He's going to spread it out and go 4 wide. Smith and Jigba is in the slot, Fant's in the slot to the right. And Jigba's going to catch it, but he's going to get tackled short. It's going to be 4th and 2 from his own 33, forcing a punt here. So flipping things over. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that was one of the players that we talked about in the pregame was Pouncey, his import being such a dynamic player there to come up, make that stop 2 yards short.
Yeah, he is game changing. Flipping things over, we asked D-Money the same question. So what was your game plan going into this? D-Money says, just the normal. Try and limit the turnovers, don't give up big plays, and keeping him guessing on both sides. Well, in response to that, I think the normal, D-Money did the normal on that opening drive, running the ball with Pacheco and having pretty good success. Obviously, that's a good way to limit the turnovers. So, and as he starts the second drive with another big run by Pacheco to the outside, already 8 carries and 1 yard shy of breaking the 100-yard mark, and we're not even out of the first quarter yet.
Yeah, he's nearly getting 12 yards a pop. It's insane right now the way he's attacking this defense. Meek Boy's got to get that under control, or he's going to have a long day.
Yes. And then he had said, don't give up the big play. I think, the big play at that start of the second drive, breaking up that pass with Greenlaw when he hit Fant, that was kind of what D-Money was talking about. And keeping him guessing on both sides, I think it was kind of interesting. I think that first drive we talked about it, he was playing a lot of soft zone coverage, just kind of keeping everything in front of him, seeing how Meek Boy was going to play, not really attacking him so he doesn't give up the big play. And as this game kind of settles in, he's going to maybe make some adjustments here. But offensively, he hasn't had to do or keep him guessing. He's telling him, I'm going to run the ball and you're going to stop me. And he hasn't stopped him yet. So,
yeah, like I said, I don't think he's attempted a pass yet. Maybe I'm wrong, but he's just methodically just run down the field, just with no resistance so far.
almost kind of like an approach that we would like to see or would see in a game where Dwayne plays. Very heavy run, limit the pass. Like, this is kind of the NFC upper echelon way, I guess. I mean, the money's showing it. Dwayne has shown it year in and year out. But this is a methodical way of doing things. If you can run the ball the way these guys are running it right now, especially D Money, why take the chance to pass? But he does pass and dump it off there. First down and 10 from the 40 here.
So far this game, it's been all Pacheco. He's got the pass reception and the carries, I think, all except for like one or two. So this is the Pacheco show right now for the 49ers.
Which is funny because we also asked these guys let me go back to the questions here. I'm pulling them up. Sorry, I just lost my notes. We asked him if there was an X factor for your team and an X factor for the other team that you need to stop. Like, who would that be? And I thought it was kind of funny as I chuckled when Meek sends me the answers back. For this game, my X factor is going to be Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker had a pretty good drive, though, to start the game, as we talked about. But it's the answer following that. Well, as we all know, Pacheco for the 49ers. And it has been just that.
Yeah, it's been the Pacheco show. Here we got the backup in, and he just waltzes through the defense. I think I must have jumped ahead of you in the video.
Yeah, so the Niners go ahead and score. Elijah Mitchell with a touchdown there, 14-7, pending the extra point here at the 7:34 mark in the second quarter. So as in flip things, we asked D Money, who is the key X factor for your team, and then who is the key X factor that you wanted to stop or key in on for Meek's team? And he said, well, Lance for me. Trey Lance is the X factor. If he's inaccurate, which has happened in a few games, might have to go to Cousins. But then it's going to be DK Metcalf for Meek. I got to stop him. So I thought it was interesting that he chose Metcalf. Metcalf is obviously, a scary one-on-one option on the outside, but he chose Metcalf, and so far Metcalf has not even been a factor in this game, and he's only really had the one ball deep thrown to him. So
I think it's odd also that he says Metcalf for him and then Lance for himself.
Oh,
and Lance has only had one pass attempt.
There's the turnovers that Meek Boy was referring to. He pulls the ball on an option read play, and White takes a big hit and fumbles it, and none other than Fred Warner, the playmaker in the middle of the defense for the Niners, recovers it. And then the Niners now have the ball 1st and 10 from the 27 of the Seattle Seahawks, up by 7. And this could be the turning point where things get dicey.
Yeah, it could get ugly if he doesn't step up big here on defense to stop the 49ers offense.
A big run stop there with the run blitz, stopping Pacheco for a loss of 1. That's the first time that I think Pacheco hasn't gained at least 5 yards. So if he can get some more of that, that would be what Meek Boy needs to find a good recipe for.
Yeah, he's got to stop Pacheco. He's got to force Lance to be the difference maker in this game. If not, it's going to be an absolutely long day for the Seahawks.
A little short pass underneath Brandon Ayuk, and that's, I think, his second pass of the game. It is a completion, but brings up 3rd and 4 from the 22 of the Seattle Seahawks. We'll see what the money dials up here. I would anticipate something, maybe a run play, but out of a shotgun or something. Oh, he does come out in shotgun here. to see how this. I could also see them looking for George Kittle, and exactly where he goes is George Kittle. Underneath George Kittle, but does get injured on the play. That could be a big injury going forward. George Kittle picks up the first, but is injured on the play, and we have a 1st and 10 from the 14 for the Niners.
Yeah, he definitely got that ball off pretty quick there to Kittle.
Well, the inside handoff to Pacheco. Pacheco does what he does and scampers up to the 1 to be 1st and goal from the 1 as D-Money's knocking on the door to take a 2-touchdown lead here halfway through the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, if you look at the trade that happened from the Chiefs to the 49ers and CMC getting traded to the Chiefs, really Pacheco brings a lot more dynamic speed than CMC did, and you can see him getting to the hole so much quicker than Christian McCaffrey.
Pacheco gets the handoff and walks into the end zone, and it is going to be 21-7 pending an extra point here as the Niners take a 2-touchdown lead, putting a lot of pressure on Meek Boy here to respond before halftime.
Yeah, and he's got to be careful. I mean, you've got 5 minutes and 38 seconds left in this 2nd quarter before halftime. He needs to have a drive like he did the first drive. Go down the field, burn this clock off, and get a score. And then hopefully you can get a stop starting the second half and get yourself back in position to get back into the game. If he has another turnover here, turns into points for the 49ers, that just makes that hill that much difficult to crawl back.
Yeah, I'm afraid to say if there is a turnover, I mean, getting down by 21 to the Niners and D-Money, I don't know much if it's a hill rather than kind of you being between 2 mountains that aren't climbable. So he's got to find a way to run the ball here, chew up some clock, like you said. And he's got plenty of clock and time to work with, but he's got to find that success that he had on that first drive.
As you can see, the 49ers just have so much speed and dynamic players on defense as well. It makes it difficult to get anything going for offensives.
He takes a deep shot downfield to DK Metcalf, and you named it, Pouncey, early on in the pregame show. Pouncey with a big break up there, bringing up a 3rd and 10 for Meek Boy here. And it's going to be 21-7 Niners, 4:55 left in the 2nd quarter on a big 3rd down. Looks like he's in a dollar defense. He's going to step up. He's going to throw a tight window. Fant is covered, broken up, and he is going to be forced to punt the ball from his own 20 here, which didn't even take off but a minute of clock time with 1 deep pass and another pass stopping the clock, giving the ball back to D-Money here with plenty of clock for D-Money to go down and make this a 3-score game.
Yeah, he's got to come up big here on defense. Maybe if he can get a pick or something or a turnover here, it would make a difference in the game. But
so one of our questions was kind of finish the question or the answer. Oh, nice pass there, but it was broken up. Looking for Brandon Ayuk over the middle. But one of the questions was finish and answer this question. The Niners win this game and D-Money's response was, if Pacheco has a good game and Lance takes care of the ball. So far, that's exactly what the Niners have done. They've handed the ball off to their money man and Pacheco. Pacheco's got well over 100 yards already here in the 1st quarter and a half, coming up to halftime. And Trey Lance has only had to throw, I think, 3 or 4 times now and has completed 3 of them. And it's just been exactly what D-Money has drawn up pregame, and it's worked.
Yeah, you almost look at D Money like the mythical creature from lore. He's been in slumber all season long. He's all about the playoffs, and maybe he's fixing to just make a statement to everybody in this league, like, I am the dude, I am him, and he's trying to make a statement, I think.
Yeah, I mean, a few people have called him out and said, "Oh, well, maybe he's not the guy no more." But, I mean, I think we all know that he's the guy. It's just rather if he's locked in or not. And right now, he's got Pacheco locked in with 15 carries, 146 yards, and a touchdown. Like I said, not even at halftime yet. And he's almost at $150 on the ground game.
Pacheco may actually set playoff records the way this is going, because he has got holes to drive a bus through if he wanted to. Just nobody around for 5 or 10 yards until he gets touched.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I mean, he's coming out in 3 wide receivers in another shotgun formation at the 20. I was going to say, you're kind of forced, I think, to pass there because you're at the 20 and you can't run shotgun runs inside the 20. So I was interested to see that. But there's a timeout called by the Niners. So we'll see what he does here. Kind of flipping things over as we have a small break there. Meek Boy's answer was, the Seattle Seahawks win if, and he said the Seahawks win if we stop the run game for the 49ers and minimize mistakes. And he was right. You got to stop the run game, which he has had trouble doing so far. And he's had the one turnover, which led to points. So, and as the Niners throw a pass, Deebo Samuel there in the corner, back byline on the right side for a touchdown, bringing this to a 28-7 ball game. 3:15 left, and I think at this point in time, Meek needs to do some damage control and obviously try and get some points, but also make sure that he doesn't give D Money any more clock here before halftime.
Yeah, I mean, it could get even uglier. I mean, got 3 minutes left in this first half, and if he gives him the ball right back again, it's going to be another score the way he's going. He's got to get his defense a little bit of a rest. The last 2 drives, it's been 3 and out, so it's his defense is winded right now. So you got to get a little bit of a something solidified and going to kind of give yourself a boost here mentally.
White is going to be underneath center, 2 receivers to the left with 2 tight ends. We'll see if he comes out and runs a pass or a run. He's going to hand it off to Kenneth Walker up the middle for a couple yards. I think that's a good decision to come out, get the clock going, run the ball, see what kind of success you can have from there.
Yeah, and small victories. That's a 3-yard gain. So it brings it in a makeable second down here. Get it 3rd and short, and try to establish this drive here. Don't give it up.
Seattle's going to look to pass the ball. He passes it off to Metcalf. Metcalf makes a tough catch as the ball is thrown behind him, pulls it in, and then turns upfield, and he's tackled for a gain, bringing it to 3rd and 2. Once again, this is damage control. If anything, you don't get points, at least use the rest of the clock and keep this game at 28-7. So we'll see what Meek is dialed up here as we hit the 2-minute warning in the first half.
Yeah, I believe that was the first catch by Metcalf there. He'd been targeted a couple times before, but everything was on deep passes. Nothing trying to get anything started in the short passing game. So maybe start looking towards doing more of that.
He's going to come out with 3 wide receivers and a tight end. It looks like he's going to run a screen play, dumps it off to Walker. Walker's going to pick up the first down and keep the chains moving. Just what we were talking about. He does exactly that. Keeps the chains moving, which is big here.
Yeah, the 49ers have so much speed on defense. Got to keep them from just keying in, just going full speed, just straight ahead at the line of scrimmage. So got to keep them on the move, keep them on their toes.
White's going to take off and run and actually pick up almost 10 yards. Second in inches here. Nice little tuck and go there by White.
Yeah, if he can get down the field here before halftime, this will be a moral victory for the Seahawks. Maybe give them a little bit of a pick me up, going into halftime, maybe for what they need for the rest of the game.
A smart little check down route, dump off to Walker, picks up a first down as clock is ticking under a minute now. He's at the ball right around midfield, so definitely in position to maybe at least get 3 points here. But we'll see how aggressive he wants to be.
As you've seen from his second and third drives, he was really adamant about trying to get down the field, big play. So now he's taking the short chunk down throws.
Very patient in the pocket there. Good patience in the pocket, and finds Jackson Smith-Njigba across the field on the crosser. White hits him on the run, and he actually gets out of bounds, saving those 3 timeouts. Down to the 24 with all 3 timeouts in his pocket still.
Yeah, you see D Money there using her in the linebacker, and he was just pretty much raping the wide receiver down the field. So he finally got loose though and got open.
Another catch by Jackson Smith-Njigba, who's been kind of the story in the show, the passing game so far for Meek Boys, that slot receiver. The young guy makes a big catch as he gets hit hard by Hufanga from the safety spot. Still has all 3 timeouts. Let's see if he's going to utilize the run game here. He's not. He's dropping back. Pressure's coming. He's going to take off with White. White scrambles down to the 1 and is going to call a timeout with 26 seconds in clock. Down to the 1. Nice little drive here as Meeks moved the ball back down, like you said, trying to gain some confidence back. If he can get this game 28-14, I mean, I still find, obviously the momentum being in D-Money's favor, but and D-Money does get the ball to start the second half, mind you. But if he can come out and get a second half stop on the opening drive defensively, he might be back in this game a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. That has to be his game plan now. I mean, you can't go down any further than this right now.
And the entire Niners backfield, or defense is in the Seattle backfield, bringing down White for a loss, pushing him back to the 5 as Seattle burns the timeout. 3rd and goal here. I would have liked to see maybe run the ball there to see if he could. I know the Niners defense is tough, but I think that play action with the speed of the Niners and the pass rush is risky. So
yeah, that type of play has to be quick and precise.
Tries to attempt to hit DK on the left side, and the ball is batted down by the linebacker. And Meek Boy is going to take 3 points at the end of the first half here. And he is at 28-10. As we're approaching halftime here, we got a few things that we just wanted to check in around the OMFL here, as we have all but one other playoff game is all done and been played and sealed up in the wild card round. So we're going to take a look around the OMFL and kind of give you an update and just kind of talk about the playoffs here in the second half. the Niners are going to come out and actually just go ahead and take the knee to take this into half, which is actually probably a smart move in D Money's favor there. So to kind of jump around and talk about a little bit of the rest of the league, we had a Detroit Lions with Trey on the road against Kevin and his Bucks, and the Bucks pull out a 34-16 victory. We had Denver and the Bengals on the road and against Bronco Man and the Orlando Condors. The Condors pull out a tight win, 32-31. Bill, with his Buffalo Bills, goes on the road to play a Shocks fan with the Chiefs, and we had a 37-23 victory in favor of the Buffalo Bills. And then our matchup, Maniac with the Falcons, goes on the road into Chicago with my Bears and pulls out a 24-21 victory. So we have kind of the next round set up outside of the Steelers and Dolphins yet to be played, which I think is getting played tomorrow afternoon or evening at some point, and then obviously the wrap-up or finish of this game. What are your thoughts on that first round, wild card round? Any shocking surprises or anything that stands out that you didn't see coming?
Really, the Condors defeating the Bengals is a really big shocker to me. And then the fact that the Bucks just totally dominated the Lions too, I think really kind of looks. I wouldn't have guessed that in my prediction.
D-Money with a haymaker right here to start the second half on a stretched RPO play. Hits Debo on the slant and takes it to the house, making it 35-10. And 9 seconds into the second half, I mean, D-Money lands an uppercut that just has Meek Boy still down for the count as we're approaching that 10-second in a boxing match. We're approaching that 10-second count. I mean, that was a huge haymaker to even give any hope for the Seattle Seahawks here to come out and get some momentum. D-Money just lands the biggest uppercut you can possibly have.
I don't even know if that's the uppercut, haymaker, or whatever. I think it's like Superman, round the world, knock your teeth back into next Tuesday punch there. Because I don't know, if I'm Meek Boy, I'm like, this is hard to tell yourself, okay, I still got a lot of game. I can get back into this. This is tough.
Yeah, we're down by, essentially, 4 scores. Kenneth Walker, though, is having some success. I think that's the second or third counter play. Utilizing that Niners speed to over pursue and good blocking up front allows Kenneth Walker to have success on the counter run. Like I said, the second or third time, I think we might see a little bit more run game as this game is sitting where it's at the moment. We have White under center, 2 receivers to the left, 2 tight ends. We got play action. White drops back, steps up in the pocket. He's going to launch it deep to Tyler Lockett, and it's overthrown. Double coverage with Pouncey, and I'm not sure who 27 is, but that was double coverage as he was playing a cover 4 and takes away the deep ball. I think we're going to see a lot of that. Just allowing Meek Boy to kind of have the underneath stuff, because with a 25-point lead, why not, right?
Yeah, but you know, in Meek Boy's position here, you've got to take what is being given to you. And there was a wide open guy there, 15 yards down the field, and you took the deep pass instead. So that's rough.
Cover 2 man there, and he hits the post, which is open, but White leads the slot receiver just a tad, and that's an incomplete, bringing up a kind of a dark third down here. I mean, 3rd and 10, he doesn't get this. He punts the ball back. We're talking D-Money getting the ball back and potentially making this 42-10. I mean, this game could get out of hand even more. This is a big 3rd down. I do like what Meek Boy's patient in the pocket, but there's just nobody open downfield, and he's forced to try and run to the outside. And stacked for a 3-yard loss, forcing another punt. Dixon's going to punt this one deep.
Yeah, this is going to be the problem for anybody facing D-Money. His DBs are going to be so much more superior to your wide receivers. He's chucking them there at the line of scrimmage. And, I mean, he's dominating that 5 to 10 yard range and just making it so difficult to even get certain plays just open.
A good coverage there by Seattle. There, D-Money passing the ball up by 25. I thought he would go back to the run game. Maybe looking to kind of keep Meek on his toes a little bit, but I figured he would get the clock going there, being he's had the success on the ground game. One thing you mentioned, like, you know, when you're playing D-Money, he's got these corners, right? That almost, it's like you feel like the corners are running the routes that your receivers are trying to run. And it's like, I thought my receivers are running the routes and the corners are trying to cover it. It almost feels like the opposite. And then so you're like, okay, well, I'll just dump it off to my running back, or I'll dump it off to my tight end. But then he's got Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner, which are two very, very, very athletic, versatile linebackers sitting in the middle of the field, taking away a tight end or the running back out of the backfield, making things very difficult, and putting almost like a stranglehold on your offense. And so, like I said, you got to mix things up, keep him on his toes, and hope that your line can hold up as D-Money throws a ball to the outside. And Debo catches that, giving him another first down, 1st and 10, as the clock is now going to roll. Debo with his third catch for 118 yards. And he's approaching midfield here in the middle of the third quarter.
Yeah, it's like watching the total opposite. Like the 49ers wide receivers are just running wide open down the field as compared to the Seahawks, who are just being harassed before they even get off the line of scrimmage, basically. And it makes it tough for you as a coach to try to get anything going when your run's being shut down and you can't get receivers off the line of scrimmage. It just makes it for a long, tough game.
One of the questions we asked these gentlemen pregame, we asked, how do you feel about facing a divisional opponent for a third time to start the wild card round of the playoffs? Before we give those answers, I mean, I think let's just, you know, chat about that a little bit. So, as facing a divisional opponent for the third time, obviously to start the wild card round of the playoffs, you're familiar with your opponent, right? And so you've seen them twice. You kind of put up a game plan, and then, you know, here you are, you know, when it's win or go home type of situation. And so I think it's interesting to see, you know, who plays to their identity. Do they try and play out of the character and change some things up? So I felt like our early questions were asking the kind of what's your game plan, and I felt like Meek really stuck to that in that first drive, and then that second, third drive kind of took some shots, got that turnover, what she talked about not having, and then that's kind of where things started rolling downhill for him. So, you know, how do you feel like if you were in a position playing a divisional opponent third time, what would your feelings or thoughts be if you were in one of these guys' positions?
Well, I mean, anytime you face somebody for a third time, it's you both really don't have anything that you can hide because you've showed your hands of the season in your seasonal game that you've played against each other, and so now it comes down to execution, who can call the correct play versus the correct defense, and you know it just makes the line of error so much smaller than it is when you're facing a opponent for the first time, or because, like I said, you know each other. You know that, okay, the first 2 games I played, this guy likes to call cover 2 on second down and long, or second and short. You know, so you kind of start to build tendencies towards your opponent, and that can either be good or it can be bad because, if your opponent changes up some things, you can be anticipating and then all of a sudden find yourself in a situation where, oh, I just blew that coverage because, I ran the wrong play, and it comes down to coaching then, and I think you see right now in this situation where D Money has maybe outcoached Meek Boy just a little bit, anticipating some things that maybe Meek Boy was not and thinking he was going to do, and now all of a sudden, D Money has done that. And one thing is not he hasn't hit is getting Pacheco the ball, but we don't know if that type of involvement with his offense has been running the outside runs or inside runs in the season, but he's definitely got that going. For me though, it comes down to that third time is you anticipate, but you also got to be on your toes, and you've got to make those changes as the game starts happening. And like you said, you see Meek Boy take those deep shots there on his second and third drive. At that point, I think if he was just a little bit more patient and looked to get underneath throws, I think it would have been better off for him.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. D-Money had success early on with what he wanted to do, getting Pacheco involved, and that kind of opened up the playbook, right? Because now you got to stop Pacheco, but then he starts getting success of Brandon Ayuk, Debo, George Kittle. You got a lot of other guys that can be X factors and make a difference. And with Pacheco's success, and even Elijah Mitchell coming in having a couple runs where he was very open. It just makes things like difficult and putting a lot of pressure. Like I said, kind of putting a stranglehold, with D-Money's defense, but offensively kind of putting pressure on your defense too, because you kind of have to put guys in check. But he does have a goal line stand here holding the Niners to a field goal, so making this 38-10. But as we're talking, that question, how do you feel about facing a divisional opponent for the third time to start the wild card round of the playoffs? D-Money says won't change it up much. Maybe mix in some plays that he hasn't seen. I didn't get a catch these first two games, but I think early on, a lot of those plays were plays that Meek and everyone in the league has seen. And it's Trey Lance hiking the ball, turning and handing it off to Pacheco. We've seen that day in and day out. And but in the second half, you're starting to see a little bit more variety of plays, play action, and getting one-on-one coverages because of that success in the run game.
Yeah, it definitely makes a difference.
Meek Boy says to that question, how do you feel about facing the division opponent for the third time? His answer was, honestly, I'm just excited. This is my first time in the playoffs here, and who better to make a splash against? I mean, I definitely agree. If you can make a splash against a guy like D-Money, it kind of puts your name on the map, or as some people say, put some respect in my name. Like, we know what Meek Boy's capable of. He's a very, very talented and solid owner, and I think this just is no shock. D-Money, playoff time. D-Money's been one of those staples in the OMFL for years in and year out. Even each cycle. I remember a couple cycles ago, he won like 5 or 6 OMFL Bowls in a row. And so his success is not anything that, people aren't aware of. I think, again, his slow start being out of town kind of put him behind the 8 ball. And but Meek started fast and won enough games to clinch the division and get this home field advantage to start the playoffs. But, like I said, I think we all say, if there's one person that you want to avoid, it would be D-Money in the OMFL. And to have to play him a third time, kudos to Meek for having that type of attitude, because I think a lot of people would just shy away from it and say, not really looking forward to this game. But he was, excited about the playoffs, and rightfully so. He's had a great season. And, I think there's a few things this score got a little out of hand. But I think he had a few plays that just kind of put him in situations, the tough situations, and going up against a guy like D-Money.
Yeah, just like some of those passes early on. I think he was looking for the big play, and he talked about making the splash against D-Money. Probably should have looked at pouring out the water a little bit slower than making a splash, because a lot of times you come in like that and you can miss some of those underneath plays that can kind of help you just continue the drive, and we saw that the first drive, and then the second and third drives. That's exactly where the game changed for him and got out of hand, and where he's in this position at this point in time.
Well, as we talked about it, I mean, in the first drive, you saw D-Money to start the game. He was playing very soft zone coverage, keeping everything in front of him. He's got the playmakers on the back end to cover one-on-one, too, in most situations. So, but again, I mean, Meek Boy, once again, showing great, presence in the pocket, just stepping around, stepping up. I'm very impressed with that so far this game. He really hasn't just had that panic mode in the pocket, so if I can give him props where it's due, I think his pocket presence, I wish maybe a little bit more sticking to the running game, but his pocket presence has been exceptional.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's, except for just, a few plays, I think he's done well at the quarterback position, maintaining that poise in the pocket. Again, like sometimes you want to make the big play, and you might pass over what could be a potential guaranteed 3-4 yard pass, and that can kind of get you down, especially when you're playing like somebody like D-Money.
Meek Boy with the underneath angle route out of the backfield for a touchdown, bringing this game to 38-17 to start the fourth quarter. He's trying to kind of keep himself relevant and respectable in this playoff game. I think with a 21-point deficit, it is too much. But like I said, kudos to him for keeping a positive attitude and, keep slugging away and trying to make this, as what he can. Madden, you've seen crazier things. I just don't typically see them against D-Money because he takes care of the ball and does things pretty well. But this game, I've seen crazier things than giving up a 21-point lead. So,
yeah, it can definitely happen, and it's you don't see it very often, but like you said, it can happen, and who knows? Maybe they're going to turn over.
And on cue, we'll see if that is reviewed or not. But on cue, Maniac says, we'll see if he gets a turnover, and Pacheco puts the ball on the turf. And recovered by the Seahawks, but like I said, is pending review. And it is being reviewed, and it is overturned. So it's still going to be 49ers ball. But quite interesting, Maniac. You're calling things out here. So what do we got for the next play, since you kind of have that magic 8-ball over there in your hands, knowing what's going to happen?
I don't know, man. Definitely going to see probably see Pacheco get the ball, and and hopefully the Seahawks can make the stop here. And
looks like D-Money's going to come out in a pistol formation. He's going to try and counter it. So Pacheco in the backfield, loss of 4, bringing it to 3rd and 8. A big play there by the Seattle defense, making it a position where he may have to throw the ball here on 3rd and 8. We'll see. I mean, does D-Money want to keep the clock rolling, being up by 21, put his defense back out there, or does he take the chance to maybe throw a little pass here? He is going to go to a bunch for wide set here. Kittle on the right, Debo on the slot on the left. He's going to throw it underneath of Debo and get swallowed up by the Seattle defense there. 4th and 3, forcing a punt. 8:37 in counting. Seattle's going to get the ball back here.
Yeah, could it be one of those things where the mojo's switching Madden that could help get the Seahawks back in this game? I mean, you never know. It's Madden, but it would definitely make for an interesting game for sure if he were able to get back in this game and make a 2-possession game.
I think if he can score by the 6-minute mark, 6.5-minute mark, there's some hope maybe with 6 minutes left in. But as you start getting to maybe having that 3-4 minute drive and then getting the clock down to 4 minutes left and having to score twice against D Money, now you're talking a little bit more of a challenge. So, I mean, in all, you got to score 3 times, and that's going to be a tall task itself. But just talking out of realistic and trying to,
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh. That was another deep shot. D-money safeties, though, playing, cover 2 over the top, taking away that deep play. Once again, the safety makes another great play. The little hitch route, though, underneath, it did open up right as he threw that ball that on the left side. It was there.
Yeah, I think those type of plays, he's got to be more patient. Let those plays be kind of what he's more about than trying to hit that deep. I know during the season he seemed like he was hitting a lot of deep stuff, but sometimes Madden it can have like little updates that can change like the way games play. Certain plays may have worked in a few seasons or a few weeks ago, but then all of a sudden now in the playoffs they may have had a server update behind the scenes and those plays don't work anymore or something. So definitely needs to look at some of those short get the first down routes. I know it's getting later in the game. You got to look at making big plays, trying to get back in it. But I think you can also do that still at that point, getting a couple plays down the field, not in huge chunks, but just kind of driving down the field.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. That's a good take on that. Coming out 4 wide receivers here, and he's going to throw the ball yet. Once again, it's Smith and Jigba. Smith and Jigba's had a pretty good game. I think that might be the guy so far that's really been the player of the game for the Seattle team. Passing-wise, I didn't think he would probably have as much, but he in the slot, not a blazer by any means, but he definitely is a young, good receiver, and he has shown that he's got a lot of potential and has had a pretty solid game here against the Niners defense. Little drop-off dump pass underneath to Lockett for a first down, 1st and 10 from the Niner 28. The clock is ticking as we approach 5 minutes left here in the 4th quarter. Little motion there. He's going to hit. Oh, DK Metcalf was open, but led him by just a step or two. And Mr. Pouncey right there for the INT to end the drive. And pretty much any hope or chance that the Seattle Seahawks had of putting a little bit of pressure on the Niners here. With 5:07, the Niners are going to take over on their own 10-yard line with a 21-point lead.
Yeah, if I'm the Niners right now, though, I get Pacheco out of there because this Madden has proved one thing, that injuries are a thing. And if he loses him for the rest of the playoffs, it could be big. I know he's got a serviceable backup, but not dynamic like Pacheco. I mean, this guy is like 95 speed, 96, 97 acceleration. Like I said, as the hole creases, the guy can be in the hole and gone down the field before you even get going on defense. So,
Yeah, I can't agree more. I mean, this would be a good chance to get some of these younger guys backups in, put Cousins in, put, Elijah Mitchell, or even was it Tyron Davis or whatever his name, Tyron Price or whatever, the backup third string running back from LSU. Put him in, give some of them some carries, protect Pacheco for their next divisional round game. He's got Mitchell in the backfield here. Trey Lance still, Debo still out there, Ayuk still out there. It's going to hand it off to Mitchell up for the middle. Mitchell's got 4 carries for 36 yards, 2 touchdowns. And bringing up a 3rd and 6 with 3.5 and counting here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he seems to use Mitchell a lot around short yardage, and I'm sure that's his short yardage back, but just definitely want to take care of your bell cow.
Little outside run with Gray. Or I should say a jet sweep pass, but more of a run. But, yeah.
Looked like it was a little short.
Yeah, they gave him the first down. I thought he was going to be short myself. That's that D-money effect, getting good spots by the refs.
And, he's got the money, so the refs got some dumb money too, to help out.
Now Davis Price is in the ball game here. Gets a first carry for 3 yards. 2nd and 7 with 2.5 in counting. And D-Money's looking to just kind of run this clock out. If he picks up one more first down, he'll pretty much be able to kneel this game out. As this game's wrapping up, Maniac, let's go ahead and kind of wrap up our thoughts here and just kind of give an overview of the game and what we expect in the coming weeks here with the playoffs and here inside the OMFL. I'll let you kind of give your first thought.
Well, the game didn't turn out the way I predicted. Obviously, I thought it was going to be a closer game, but Pacheco just dominated the line of scrimmage. If you look at the stats, 25 carries, almost 200 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. The guy was just absolutely phenomenal all game. Meek Boy knew what he had to do coming in and had to stop him, and he didn't do that. And again, like I said, not being able to solidify his offense and get drives going like he did with that first drive, it just hurt him. Got him behind the 8 ball, and then D-Money was just able to have his way. And but great season by Meek Boy, and we'll get to see Mr. D-Wayne and D-Money, I think, face off in the next round of the playoffs. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, talk about a second round matchup here in the division round with D-Money winning as a 6th seed, being the lowest seed left to advance. He will travel to the Dallas Cowboys, which is the top seed here in the second round. So the Niners will play host to the Dallas Cowboys. And talk about D-Money versus D-Wayne. That'll be an intriguing matchup that many will tune in for. I'm sure either maybe we or Nate will be on the call for that one. That'll be a fun one. As we talked about pregame, I think Meek Boy had a good game plan going in. Really had a great drive. I was really impressed with the opening drive. And then, we talked about a couple times, that second drive, just taking those shots and trying to kind of force the splash play, and rather than kind of just taking what's given, kind of put him behind the 8 ball for the rest of the game, because then he was down 14-7 and then had that turnover. The next thing you know, it's 21-7, gets stopped, then it's 28-7, and it just kind of unraveled faster than one would like. So, but I think, Kenneth Walker ran the ball well for the most part. I think the other thing I would say is Oh boy, there it goes. Trying to get my screen set up there, but I think one, D Money definitely showed his dominance and why he's so successful, and put Pacheco, his success on display and what he's done with Pacheco all year long, and that'll be one interesting matchup. D Money with Pacheco going up against D Wayne and Tony Pollard. Both teams like to run the ball. Both teams play good defense, and they can pass the ball as needed. But that's going to be a heavyweight matchup. And then the other matchup will be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Atlanta Falcons, another divisional matchup. And I think you were just one game shy of Kevin, or maybe 2 games. I can't remember if Kevin had 14 or 13 wins, but both exceptional seasons. And so that'll be another interesting matchup. It'll be interesting also to see what the final game in the AFC between the Dolphins and the Steelers, how that game plays out for the AFC. But kind of wrapping things up here, Meek Boy, you had a strong season, very impressive, and I look forward to seeing what you do here in the coming seasons here at this cycle. You've got a great young team. If you can manage the cap and continue to build and whatnot with that team, I think you're going to be a staple in the playoffs, whether it's the divisional winner or a wild card team. You're a strong owner. Nothing to hang your head about here on that game against D Money, as D Money has been money here inside the OMFL for many, many years. That's pretty much all I got. I appreciate you guys tuning in to catch the OMFL Wild Card matchup here inside the NFC. Maniac, do you have anything else before we cut loose?
No, it's just a great season by Meek Boy. Like you said, nothing to hang your head about. You gave D-Money more of a run than a lot of us guys have in the regular season, that's for sure. He just got the best of you this playoff, and definitely I see Meek Boy learning from this and coming back next season bigger, better, stronger than ever, and hopefully he'll be able to get past this and improve from it, and it's just exciting to see what's going to happen the rest of the playoffs, though. So that's the OMFL for you.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we can close and wrap this show up with. Is inside the OMFL, nothing ever surprises you. We always have upsets. We always have interesting stuff. As I said earlier, thanks to Nate for what he does for the community and giving us a place to play. And then we have great owners like these two that just battled it off here inside the wild card round. But we've got several other owners who are great human beings and great people, but also competitors when it comes to Madden. So we see lots of great games, and we appreciate you guys tuning in. Until next time, we will try and catch another playoff game here in the next round. We'll try and look at the schedule and see what's out there. But until next time, peace, guys.
Peace.